Um, I'm still in the process. I got an email back today. We're trying to get some information back from the landlords by the end of the week to see, so we can kind of look. I had 3 places I was looking at, so we're hoping to get some back from them by the end of the week to kind of see which way we want to move forward from there. So everybody has been real quick to answer questions. I've been very appreciative of everything so far. So
good. Yes, we're here to help. Anything you need, help on. Cool. Yeah. So Quad Two looks like it's able to record now.
Yeah. Yep. It's recording. I know a bunch of people had mentioned they had it. This is a very big topic for them. So, we still have a few minutes.
Yeah. The other thing I'll cover is nutrition education, how you and your team can get more education on it, and what we should be looking at moving forward with the FBBC way, what Matt Wilbur's designing for owners as well. Because the plan is for us to have, I don't want to say our own in-house diet, but something kind of like that. I don't know. I haven't got all the details on it, but I have some. So I'll kind of cover that as well.
Awesome. And don't you call your nutrition appointment the NAG?
I got away from that because I know that, I love jokes and I thought it was hilarious, but I don't think the clients really got what it was about. And so I stopped calling them that. We just call them NCS appointments. And there's either NCS appointments, which stands for nutrition coaching session for a trial, or we used to do NAG for VIPs, but now we just call them a VIP NCS. Uh-huh. So I don't know. A lot of people like that. They've taken it. They've adopted it. If you want to use it, feel free. But NAG stands for nutrition and goals. And so we would jokingly tell the clients, it's time for your quarterly NAG, or hey, I need to nag you again, or when can we get you down for your NAG appointment? And they're like, what? And just make them laugh a little about booking a nutrition appointment rather than feeling like it's this annoying thing they need to just mark off their to-do list. So honestly, I don't think it really matters what you call it. It's just you got to hype it up and build up the excitement behind it. So we could talk about that a little bit too, because just like anything, you got to sell the client on why they should attend it. And a lot of people who struggle for people to show up to their NCS appointments, it's because they're not selling it with a lot of excitement. So we'll go ahead and get started then, Quan.
I don't know. Maybe we give people a couple of more minutes. There, a lot of people just kind of. Sure. It just hit 1 p.m. So maybe a couple of minutes.
Not a problem, dude. How are things going with your build out for your location?
Well, I as I was posting, updates to my fan page, it occurred to me that I just, with my grand opening strategy, that maybe I was posting too much, and I decided to hold back what I was posting until I was into this grand opening strategy, because I need content to put up there, because if I was putting too much before and everything was like already, so much of it was already done, then I have less, content to put up there in terms of facility updates.
Got it. Okay.
But I'm really, I'm following, I'm posting a transformation email. I'm sending transformation emails. I sent the second of my membership giveaways today. And it's funny, I guess it's early on and maybe they're not checking their emails, but the first one I gave away last week, after 48 hours, I actually had to reach out to her and say, hey, are you aware? And she was like, who is this? She responded like, what is FBBC? And then I had to explain it to her. But
got it.
Whatever. But she was excited. She won. Now I'm waiting for this 1 month winner to get back to me.
Yeah, it's crazy that you would legitimately have people, win something free, and they don't. I've given away multiple 6-month memberships, and the people they don't come forward and claim it.
I think it could be because they don't see it. I probably it's like they never saw it or something.
Yeah, it could be that. Also, you don't value what's free. You think there's some sort of catch or something. Yeah, I also always remind owners that, hey, we're in a business setting. We're emailing our team, we're emailing the HQ, we're doing all these things with email. And I tell them most people are not on their email that much. Like your average person, they don't have like an office job. They're not like living on their email.
Yeah.
So we have to remember to meet our clients where they're at. Like I have friends that have not logged in their email in a year because it's just that they don't have an office job. They might have just not seen it because they just don't go in their email.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with these people.
Glad to hear it. When's the official?
Well, I'm looking at September 23rd.
Okay.
September 23rd.
All right, got it. All right, dude. Well,
let's get started anyway, because all these people who told me they were like all over this are not showing up. But let's go anyway. But I do actually have one big question. Nutrition is so individual, and it's so everyone has different needs, right? Do you? I mean, and everybody like the Matt Wilbers and other people have their programs, and I wonder, is there a way to create and not a one size fits all, but a fairly small set of nutritional guidelines for people?
Yeah, it's funny you asked that because I just created a video for our members called the 5 FBBC nutrition principles. And basically it was very broad things that they need to follow, but it makes it easier to live a healthy lifestyle, I think. Whether people can stick to it or not, it's up to them. So definitely, on the right track, thinking like, how can we make a one size fits all? In all reality, there is none. We say different strokes for different folks, because you get people who do keto and they, just live and preach it, and they just, completely swear by it. And there's plenty of people that can get results. And then there's someone who's done it and they feel like crap and it's not the right fit for them. And then there's paleo, and then there's macro counting. Different strokes for different folks, different diet plans for different people. It all depends on what that person can do, what they can commit to, what they can stick to. And so we have to think about it like this. All the diets that are out there are just different tools on your tool belt. If you are comfortable coaching with nutrition and 10 different diet protocols, I think about it like you got 10 tools around your tool belt, but you're actually very limited in your one trick. If you only know one diet, and it's the diet you've done, it's the diet you try to force everybody else to follow, you're less, as you don't have as much, tools in your tool belt. So that's how I think about it. I listen to the person, and based on their lifestyle and what they can do, that guides the conversation. I ask them questions like how they feel when they eat certain foods, or how they feel when they, try to restrict and only have one cheat meal a week. And so, that's the thing, is that there's a lot of people that need help and they need a quick start. And we can't sit here and do like a full 1 hour conversation with every client, because it's just not scalable, especially if you're going to have 2, 3, 4, 500 members. So we got to find something that's scalable, that is teachable, so the whole team can get on board with it, and that we can really put it into an easy phrasing so that we can say it to our clients and they get what we're talking about. So to kind of like get us started here, there's probably 2 situations you're going to find yourself in as an owner or a coach at FBBC, and that's people who are on a challenge and when they're off a challenge. Okay, so typically people are joining a challenge for fat loss, and so that's what we give them. We give them an aggressive fat loss program. Now, there's more work involved to get that aggressive fat loss, and we typically do a macro-based diet, because if they can hit their macros, they will lose the fat that they want to lose. All right. And so if you're in Matt Wilbur's program, you want to do the UCC. If you want to use a very easy macro calculator, I always use the bodybuilding.com one. You can pick fat loss, muscle building, or maintenance. So I just choose fat loss and put the client's information in and get their macro. That's scalable because you can give that link to your team and have them calculate macros. One thing that I want to really stress is that the team needs to calculate the client's macros, because we also tried sending everybody the macro calculator and only about half of the people took the time to do it. So that's where we took ownership and we said, to give people a better level of service, we are going to calculate their macros. So on your challenge onboarding, you could at some point send them over a survey. We call it a get to know you survey. And we just ask all the stats on there we need: your height, your weight, your gender, and then your age. And once they submit that in, we just for ease of use, we use Google Form. It's free. And then you can take the answers, get dumped into a Google Sheet. So once you have all their stats on a Google Sheet, you just need to take time to go to that bodybuild.com macro calculator, enter it in, get their macros. And then the next stage, and again, you guys, it depends on how many coaches you have, but we take everybody who's on a challenge, we divide it evenly over our coaches. So let's say for simplicity of math, you have 30 challengers and you have 3 coaches. Everybody gets 10 challengers. You would want to put on that spreadsheet your 10 challengers for coach A on a tab, and then 10 challengers for coach number 2 and number 3. And basically, send an email with their macros, but also introducing yourself as their official accountability coach during this challenge. So you can say, hey, I'm Coach Alex, and I will be your coach during this, 6-week transformation challenge. Here are your macros, and then right beneath that, fat, carbs, and protein. And I'm here to, help you get the best results possible. Let me know if there's anything else I can do to help. And then finally, just give them an idea of what the communication cadence will be like. So say, hey, I'm going to be reaching out to you every single Wednesday of the challenge, or every Thursday. I think ours was on Thursday. And so we just send them a text and just check in with them and see if they have questions. So that's, part of keeping them accountable. And then the most important thing is we have to, like we said, we're starting with that as our base level. But from there, the accountability coach's job is to change things as needed. So if they're not seeing results, maybe we tweak their macros. Maybe you drop their carbs a little and raise their protein. Maybe their stress levels are very high, so you cut them from 5 times a week of boot camp to 3 times. But that's the job of the accountability coach, is to put in the coaching, like actually be a coach. Like, what would you say to this person if they were your one-on-one client? What advice would you give them? So that is the system of a challenge. Now I'll kind of go over what is it that we do once we get them off of a challenge. Because remember, on a challenge, we did all 3 macros, right? Carbs, fat, protein. So for simplicity's sake, and I should also mention on that program, they get 1 cheat meal a week. So they can have whatever they want. And there's a lot of benefits, from the mental break to, hormones to revving up your metabolism. That's why a lot of bodybuilders do it. So they can have whatever they want, but it's 1 meal. They can have a cheat day, okay, the cheat meal. And the next thing is, after we transition them off of a challenge, what do? So this is where it gets more into sustainable living. We actually call it our sustainable living nutrition program. And basically what this is they continue to get 1 cheat meal a week, but all they track at this point is their protein intake. So we don't really track carbs and fats and just have a lot of work. All we want to do is look at their protein, because chances are if they're hitting their protein goal, the other macros will fall into place. And also, Mrs. Jones is probably burnt out on tracking macros after 6 weeks of doing it. So for that reason, we just want to make it simple and sustainable. And this is like our compass. Whenever somebody is on a VIP, when they become a member with us, we call them a VIP client. So any of our VIPs that are just, off the wagon, they're frustrated, they're not getting results, this is our home base. We say, okay, you're not signing up for a challenge. Well, we want you to get on the sustainable living program. We want you to just track your protein. And again, we go to those numbers that were pulled up from bodybuilding.com. So it might be 100 grams of protein a day. It might be 150, but we just say, hey, Mrs. Jones, we just need you to track this and hit this. So that is pretty much what we move them towards. But you guys might have seen my post in the group with that sheet that we created called the strong why list. A lot of time people won't do things unless they have a strong why. So that's why it's important to pull that out of them and to go over that with them. Say, hey, Ms. Jones, let's just not talk about numbers and protein and tracking. Let's put some fire on this gasoline. Why do you want to lose fat? Why do you want to feel better? And let her come at you with that answer, because that, at the end of the day, guys, is what's going to drive compliance. What's going to make her want to eat the broccoli and eat the chicken and sleep for 8 hours is because she's got some sort of exciting vision she's chasing. And it could be looking good for her 40th birthday. It could be getting off her diabetes medication. It could be for a big vacation she's got planned. But there has to be something. And that's why challenges get so much compliance. Like I always talk to owners about that. I say, why the heck do our clients are so compliant during a challenge? And then off of a challenge, it's just like they go off the kilter, they just eat whatever they want. And it's because of that commitment. It's like, I'm signing up for 6 weeks of getting super dialed in on my nutrition, but they're not signing up for 60 years, right? Because that's too long. So they're just doing a very short time commitment. Our job after the challenge is over is to make more short-term commitments, anywhere from 30 to 90 days. And that's why we plan every 90 days to schedule a nutrition appointment with our VIPs so that we can set the next 90-day goal for them to chase. So remember that if they're not chasing something, that means that they're probably not very motivated. All right. When you ever see that look in the eye of a client that's super motivated or they're just on top of their workouts, you go ask them what their goal is and they got an answer for you. All right. There's nobody that's kind of floating along, just living a healthy lifestyle. And they don't really have a goal that is like crushing it with their diet. They're driven. They have something they're striving for. Okay. And I mean, heck, that can apply to us as owners. Whenever I ask an owner, what's your EFT goal? And they don't know, they're kind of just floating along. But when they're like chasing a number, they're hungry. They're like, I got to get to that number. I got to get to that number. So that's what we have to have with our clients, is that strong why. So the reason I brought up that list is it's basically a place to record all this vital information about your client. You put all their names and then their active goal, which is something measurable, like losing 20 pounds or 2 dress sizes. Their strong why, which must be an emotional response. It has to be something that's an emotional thing, not a measurable thing. And then finally, their macros. So you can literally put all this information I'm talking about on your VIPs on one spreadsheet, and then the team just has to keep it updated. We have to keep putting things in there so that we can keep our clients in the system. And then when we meet with them, we can go pull this sheet up and read back what we talked about last time. So that is pretty much, like the difference between being on a challenge and off a challenge. I guess the next thing I would go over with you guys is what is the system for putting someone through a nutrition appointment. All right. So if they're on a trial, they get 1 nutrition appointment. Again, our phrasing is NCS. That stands for nutrition coaching session. And so we just let them know when they're coming to orientation that it's complimentary. Hey, with your trial, you get 1 complimentary nutrition coaching session. And here's what's important. You guys have to be selling people on wanting to come to it. Again, everyone's favorite radio station is WIIFM. What's in it for me? So what's in it for me to come to this nutrition appointment? Is this person just going to, ride me about my diet and make me feel guilty? So the way we phrase it is say, hey, this is an appointment with our facility leader. Their schedule's completely packed out. They're very busy. And we would love for you to meet with them. But the thing is, their schedule's filling up. So we want to book you with them right now. All right. This is at orientation. They haven't even done a workout yet. We're booking it. So we put that urgency that their schedule's getting full. The second thing is we say, hey, it's very important for you to come to this appointment because we're going to give you our best nutrition strategies to help you melt pounds of body fat off and help you to speed up your results. Okay. So now we're selling it. We're telling people why they need to come. So first, urgency, their schedule's filling up. And then desire, by building up why this will serve them. All right. So this is where we go over nutrition and we talk to them about membership. So our system is very easy, guys. Like you could just, jot these questions down. So the first thing I always ask at the NCS appointment is how's your experience been going so far? Say, hey, Mrs. Jones, come take a seat. I know that you're on a trial. How has your experience been so far? And that's powerful because she can then give me feedback like, oh, the coaches are fire, or, you know, there was a little mishap in the beginning. I never got my meal plan for the first 2 days. So I can listen out for ways we can improve. And then my second thing to help me figure out how much she spent on fitness is I say, have you ever worked with a trainer or done a boot camp before? And that's important because that tells me how much she spent on fitness in the past. If she's worked with a trainer or done a boot camp, that tells me she's spent a lot on fitness. And if she hasn't, then that tells me she's probably only been to like a $10 to $40 gym. So that's my second question. My third question is, or my third step, I should say, now I say, great. So Mrs. Jones, you've been with us for X amount of time. And just so you guys know, we try to book this at about 50% of their trial. So if they did a 21-day program, we're going to meet with them week 2. They did a 6-week challenge. We're probably going to meet with them week 3 or 4. So the third step is to now get their results. Say, all right, Mrs. Jones, right over here in my office, I have an InBody or I have a scale. Since you started, let's see how many pounds you've lost, and have her step on the scale. Now, here's something important. You guys have to be prepared for it to go either way. It could be she loses weight, she's lost none, or she gains weight. All right, worst case scenario, right? So you got to be prepared to answer what's happening in her body. You know, a lot of times if they're losing weight, their body was ready to release some body fat, and they've just been changing their diet, and they're super motivated. If nothing's budged and it's been a week or two, it might be that she lost fat and built muscle. So the scale shows nothing. And then my follow-up question is like, all right, the scale doesn't show anything, but Mrs. Jones, is your pants feeling looser? You know, that tells us we lost inches. So even if the scale didn't go down, you know, did you lose inches? And if there's no change, again, maybe she's a net zero or she gained weight, I say, well, this is great that you're here in this appointment, because that's why nutrition is such a vital key of fat loss. It's 80% of the fat loss equation. And we're going to go over that right now. So I just put her at ease. I don't ever want her to feel guilty. I've seen so many women step on the scale and start crying because they've seen no results or they start gaining weight. And so we just need to put her at ease. Say, all right, Mrs. Jones, it's been a week. You've been working hard. There's been no results. No worries. It's probably something nutrition related. We're going to figure that out right now. All right. So at that point, I sit her down again. You know, again, this is all happening in the office. Now, the only thing I want to really dive into from a coaching standpoint is asking her what her number one nutrition struggle is. Say, all right, Mrs. Jones, just spell it out for me. What is it that you struggle with most? And you guys are going to hear the same 8 to 10 answers every single time. It's the weekends, it's carbs, it's alcohol, it's sugar, it's snacking, it's no meal prep. I kind of skip breakfast, I skip lunch, and I have a giant dinner. There's going to be the same things over and over. So you'll get better and better at what you're going to, you know, coach them through the more and more you hear it. Okay. And then we finally then set up a goal. We say, okay, Mrs. Jones, is your number one nutrition struggle? So I'll give her my 2 coaching tips for that. So if she says weekends, I'll write down a tip, and then I'll write down a second tip. And then now we shift into goal setting. Say, all right, Mrs. Jones, this is the biggest thing I want you to focus on. Don't beat yourself up. Don't look at all the 10 things you want to fix about your diet. We just want to fix this one thing. Work on this, okay? And then I'll say, okay, now let's talk goals. What is your active goal you're looking to chase? And that's, again, that has to be something measurable. And then I'll ask her for her strong why. What is your strong why behind chasing this goal? And once I have that, I will fill out my sheet and I will hand it over to her. I'll say, here you go, Mrs. Jones. This is for you to keep. Okay, everything I wrote down was for you. The coaching tips, the strong why, the active goal. But now, this is where I then change the conversation to membership. I'll say, now that we went over these things about your nutrition and your goals, I want to talk to you about membership. Would you be interested in that? That's a powerful way to put it, because we want to let her control the conversation and say, yes, tell me about your membership rates. I've never gotten a no. I never had somebody say, no, I don't want the membership rates. Okay. People will always be curious. And then this is where you bring it up. This works because you're coming with value. First, you gave nutrition information, and then you're asking for the membership. Okay. So that is the NTS for a trial. Now, it's the exact same process when we're working with a VIP who's already on a membership, sans the membership pitch, right? They're already on a membership. We don't need to pitch them again. The only thing I might upsell them into is to join an upcoming challenge, because I know that that does a lot of good for people who are trying to burn fat. So if we have a 4-week challenge coming up, I'll say, all right, Mrs. Jones, here's your marching orders. We talked about your goal, etc. Do you think a challenge might help you to get really dialed in? She's like, yeah, challenges always help me. Perfect. We got a 4-week challenge. What we bill is, if they're on a VIP membership, it's just $10 a week to be in a challenge. So if they're already paying $147 a month, and they join a 4-week challenge that month, we're going to get $197 out of them. So it's a great upsell. You always want to charge your clients. And if they ask, why am I paying for this challenge? Why can't I get that in my membership? Just let them know there's additional payroll for the coaches to do accountability coaching. There's more nutrition programs that we're going to be giving everybody, more meal plans, more resources. We're going to have a private Facebook group we have to manage, and any other bonuses you want to throw in there. Some people have created challenger-only sessions, like only challengers can come to that time. They threw on an extra Saturday or an extra morning time. And anything else that you want to, even seminars, you could say, hey, we're having a meal prep seminar, but it's challengers only, so there's just basically a bunch of goodies for being in this challenge. But it's mainly more nutrition, more accountability. They get another nutrition appointment during that challenge as well, where they sit down and talk to someone in addition to all the, files they're being sent. So that is,
hey, Dustin.
Yes.
What do you charge your VIP members to be in a challenge?
$10 a week.
Oh, yep. Okay.
So that's the systems. And then I gave you guys the concepts, which is, all 3 macros or just protein. I'm thinking that the final piece behind this all is nutrition education. How could you or your team get more educated about nutrition? For our owners, and I mean everybody in the FBBC family, we get a free NCI course in the trainers registration page on the university website. They get the ability to go through the FBBC trainer certification, a master class, like being a great coach with me. That's like, I don't know, maybe like an hour of video. And then the NCI nutrition coaching cert. We just went through it with our team this year, and they got a lot of good takeaways from it. So although you don't get a full-blown NCI certification at the end, just watching the videos is powerful. We just went through, I think it was like 5 chapters a week of video, and it took us about 3 weeks to get through everything. So that is a powerful resource. If they want to learn more about recovery and sleeping, I would highly recommend having the entire team read Sleep Smarter by Sean Stevenson, because you're going to have so many clients that are stressed and not getting enough sleep. I know it's not specifically nutrition, but it does contribute to fat loss. And then, Matt Wilbur, just to kind of give you guys a preview of FBBC Way, he's going to be making resources for challenges and non-challenge periods for everybody that everybody will be able to use. Because we all know he has a nutrition coach on staff, and he has a bunch of other team members that help him to run things. He's designing things with the average, like, one location owner kind of implementing. So that's going to be coming. I have no idea when. I know he's getting the challenge materials and diet together for the 10-week challenge later this year, but I'm thinking the majority of everything else is going to come out early next year. So that'll be good that we'd have our own internal diet. That way we don't have to rely on external diets. As far as nutrition education, some certs. I love the PN, Precision Nutrition Cert. I feel like it's very, very simple. It's very, very easy to follow. And there's a ton of resources that you can share with your clients, including how to measure food just using their hand. Okay. So they do a open, like a palm of meat, or protein, which could be steak, chicken, whatever, a closed fist of vegetables, a cupped hand of carbs, and then a thumb size amount of fat. So that'd be like olive oil, coconut oil, whatever. So that's the system they follow. And then they have a bunch of resources and articles and videos to help educate you and your clients on nutrition. And they keep it very simple, which I think is why they've grown and become such a successful company, that they took something difficult and made it simple. I love NCI, I love Jason Phillips, but I feel like his intake process and him giving people a nutrition prescription is very, very time consuming. Like, it would take a lot of time for you to go through his system with every single client and hold them accountable to it. It's meant for paying higher prices just for nutrition coaching. But again, you can still learn a lot about hormones and vitamins and macros and food from going through that with your team. So those are some of the best, tips I could give you guys when it comes to nutrition, the system, what to do with your clients. As far as books, I'm trying to think of some right now at the top of my head. I haven't read any good nutrition books in a while. I need to get one on my to-read list. But, like, again, I think that PN cert, the only problem is I think they only onboard people twice a year for it. So I think it's like October and April or something. They allow people to register for it. So when they open it up, you got to jump on. But those are the main things I wanted to cover. Kwan, what are some stories or questions you're getting on the street, man, about nutrition?
Well, I'm not, honestly, I get questions just from, like, the my friends or whatever. But I know that, people with clients right now have all kinds of questions, and I don't exactly know what they are, but I think some of them are getting, like, issues where clients aren't really getting the results they're looking for and can't figure out why.
Yes. Yeah, it's challenging. Honestly, it's really challenging. At the end of the day, I think most of your clients know what to do. It's just a question of them not doing it. And so then you're asking yourself, why? Why won't they eat the protein? Why won't they eat the broccoli? And it comes down to that strong why. If you kind of just shrug your shoulders, you don't really know why you're eating healthy, why you're going to the gym, you're not going to see the results you desire. So we really have to have them set that strong why and coach them in that direction. And, this is not something you have one conversation or you put one post in your group and then you can check box it and say that that's it. I sold my clients on why they need to have a strong why. This is nonstop barraging them with, like every month, I at least put up one or two posts about what, power of your why, and why you're not going to get your goal unless you have a strong why, and just really hitting them. Like anything, they say good teachers are repetitive. And, as a coach, you're going to be repetitive with your messaging to your clients about nutrition, about training, everything. So, yeah.
Hey, Zach.
What up?
Hey, so have you had any nutrition consults yet?
Shit ton. Hundreds.
So what are people asking you for, and what are you telling them?
Like a lot what Dustin's saying about how people really, you have people that don't understand at all about how vital like protein is after a workout, or how when you're going to have carbs, like a fast adjusting carb is good after 30 grams after a workout. So those are things I want to educate them on, and I do. A lot of them need help with just snack ideas because they reach for the junk as opposed to like one of the good protein bars like a Kirkland or a Quest protein bar, because a lot of the protein bars I try to explain to them are mostly junk, heavy carb and low fiber, and so that's a big thing we talk about. But a lot of people need help with just the basics, real basics, like a solid plate of a protein the size of your fist, a green with like olive oil for your good fat. Just hit your fat, hit your carb, and hit your protein. And they need to understand that at every meal because they're not getting that at every single meal. So that's definitely.
Usually when I get a question like that, I tend to gravitate towards what has worked for me.
Yeah.
Because even though I always trained a lot, I never got to be, I guess, the weight I am now because I just had a horrible diet.
Plateaued.
Yeah, well, not plateaued. I just never went anywhere to begin with.
Yeah.
But soon as I changed my diet, my weight loss just kind of accelerated. It was crazy.
Right. Yeah. So true. Yeah.
But it was always, for me, I gravitate towards, high fiber, lean protein, and low fat. Now, I don't even know what low fat really is. I just know that it's a lot lower than it used to be, because just having gone to the doctor, my triglycerides are way down, my cholesterol is way down. So, and just eating generally cleanly. And we know what that means. It means don't go to McDonald's,
right,
or Wendy's, and trying to minimize pizza, that type of thing.
Yeah. Save it for that cheat meal that Dustin talks about once a week. That's it.
Yeah. What I think it comes down to is convenience. So remember this, we're attracting convenience-minded people with 30-minute sessions.
Yeah.
So it's no wonder that they go to the drive-through, they look for quick and easy snacks. So we have to speak in that language, like, hey, Ms. Jones, this is a convenient dinner idea. If you're out and about, here's some healthier fast food options. You know, like out here we have Flame Broiler, it's like a chicken veggie bowl place, Panera Bread, Chipotle, and I'll just tell them what to order, and that way they are empowered. I said there's absolutely no reason you can't make a healthy choice if you go out to eat. And if you even took me to the worst place, like a McDonald's, I could still make a healthy choice.
You get a style of chicken.
Yeah. The question is, do I want to? All right. If their desire to eat the cheeseburger and the soda, because that sounds good or that tastes good, is stronger than their why, that will win. All right. No matter how many tips you give them. So that's why that strong why has to be powerful. And the second thing is, I ask them to fill in the blanks. I don't just give them all the answers and do all the talking. I'll say, all right, Mrs. Jones, you need to hit whatever, 120 grams of protein. What are your favorite sources of protein? And I'll let her, because I don't want her to start rattling off. You need to eat chicken, you need to eat fish, you need eggs. In her mind, she's like, I don't like that. I don't eat that. I would never cook that. So I'm talking to a wall. Instead, let her come out. And she might say, oh, well, you know, I like ground turkey, or I like, you know, whatever. And so I'll take what she wants and I'll put that on her plan, or I'll recommend that. But I'll ask her, what are your of the 3 macros? What are your favorite carbs? What are your favorite fats? And what are your favorite proteins? And, you know, because people are being smart asses, when I say your favorite carbs, they'll say French fries and potato chips. And I'll say things that are conducive to getting to your goals, you know, and that kind of framed it. Not fried chicken, not soda. And they're like, okay, got it. And then they knew I meant healthier of the 3. And number one, I'm educating them, because NCI, I love a phrase they use. Education drives compliance. All right. If you educate your clients, they will comply with your program, because they will understand the why behind it. That's how you know you're doing a good job. If you hear your clients explaining a diet to another person in your sessions because they have caught onto it, or they can like verbalize it because they've learned it. Now you know you're actually educating people because it's sticking with them in their mind. And we're not just telling people what to do. We're asking them to come to the conversation with their ideas and their thoughts as well. So that's just another coaching tidbit. Let them answer things too. Don't just do all the talking, because then they did not grasp anything and they just listened to you, you know, rant. Cool. Quan Su, any other questions you can think of, dude?
Yeah, just comment. I mean, convenience is huge. And and I'm going to talk about myself again, because it's the only real example I have. And when I rejiggered my diet, I needed to find something that was going to be really sustainable and easy, because if it was going to take 2 hours to prep, I was out. I knew it. So I had to figure out something that was really easy to prep in a span of 10 minutes, and I could prep enough for an entire week. And I was able to figure that out, and it worked. And that's something I think that is true for everybody. If it becomes real work to prep food, they're never going to do it or sustain it.
Dustin, does HQ have any of their meal plans that are a little bit more friendly as for time convenience?
Yeah. As far as my favorite meal plans that they've made people, I love the Fit in 30 meal plan. Okay. It's a very basic and good one. The Bod Squad was a good meal plan as well. Okay. And, I know that they recently posted a vegan meal plan, 6 weeks. So that's helpful, because I know we all have our fair share of those.
I've been sending that one out.
Yeah.
Vegetarian one too.
So those are the best ones. And then, like I said, Matt Wilbur's making one for everybody for the 10 weeks. So that'll be another one that we can all use. But those are some good ones to get started on.
Okay. Yeah, it's good to send out people with variety, you know.
Sure. Cool. All right, Quan Su, if that's it, bud, I think we'll hop off. We'll get this recording up so lots of people can get the benefit from it.
Yes, sir. Thank you once again. It was awesome.
Yes. Glad to help. Glad to explain it further. And I hope it helped everyone to kind of get their head wrapped around how to make it work.
I'm sure all those people who said it was really important and didn't show up will find this interesting.
Tag them on it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you put it on YouTube.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Thanks, Dustin. I'll let you go.
4th of July, everybody.
Same to you.
You too. Thank you.